Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about things that I know. And thanks to YouTube Music, and the title of this one is Journey to the Stars. And is produced, well, Journey to the Stars is a great song. I got a few of these in here, and I'll try to tell you about them as I'm going along. But I picked these categories because I once listened to Stephen Hawking, and I can't remember precisely what he said. And he's talking about the fundamentals of life. He gave the statement that in the world of physics, there is a given and then there's a taken. The given is that you deal with facts, you deal with empirical notions that you can write down and say for sure. And with that, he said there is no God. But then he goes on to claim that people need to have something in their hearts. Not everybody is smart. Not everybody is wise. Not everybody believes in the theories of physics. It's totally different than the theories of faith. To say there is a God, he cannot. But to say there is a God, he leaves that to the faith. To me, he was given two statements, 2 points. God is as real to us as physics is to him. And in his theoretical feelings, he could not say there was a God. But in his faith, or in faith, he couldn't say there isn't a God. So however you choose to see things is how things is, or are, or will. You see, people living without hope in this world has a very short life. Hope is what we all live for. We all want that utopian type of moment when things are just right, where we feel that peacefulness. When you walk down the street, a street that you've been on for a long time, and the people that you greet along the way take and say hello, look you in the eyes with a smile, and you know that that is said with respect to you. That brings you feeling of happiness, type of utopia. And this is what we all live for. This is the hope that Stephen Hawking was talking about. But in the theoretical physics world, he can't claim there is a God. And that's because everything's chaotic. Everything just messed up. And I took what he's saying at heart. And to me, I look beyond the stars into the darkness. The darkness is what I see. And I know that in all theories, there is always an opposite. Even on a periodic chart, there is an opposite to all these things. And the opposite of dark is light. Everybody knows that. And in this darkness, there is nothing but pure chaos. That's been put in there. Until we come up with a complete algorithm for string theory, we can't know what others there is. We keep thinking, well, there are many different dimensions. I am one person living in this life, but maybe there's 1,000 others of me living in other parts, other ways. And that's what string theory is all about. And once you can answer that in string theory, then people, you can see the truth and have the theories of life. You have all the answers. But people can't answer that. It's just like people trying to answer perpetual motion. There isn't no such thing as perpetual motion. Just like in string theory, you cannot link them together because where one ends, another one begins. And to put them all together is to walk outside the boundaries of time. But that's all in darkness that we live. And in this darkness that we live in, there has to be the opposite of chaos, and that is order. Everything is set to pace the right way. Just as we journey to the stars that's playing in the background right now, we journey to the light. And the light is the opposite of darkness. We journey to that one because we all know we started from someplace. And how we started, we don't know. You can read all the Bibles you want, but there's always going to be questions there. You can read all the Qurans you want, but there's always going to be a question. And you say you have to do it by faith and belief. But faith and belief can only go so far, because when you ask the questions about the journey to the stars, then you have to ask the question, what's beyond the darkness and the stars? A science teacher told me that the only way you know you got a correct answer when you're asking a question in the worlds of physics, because in the world of physics you answer a question and it brings up the answer to be true. It brings up more questions. There's more questions, more questions, more questions. Always asking. Like, I ask the questions, what is beyond all the math, all the writing of math? What's beyond that? I had an argument one time with a science teacher, and I said, a theory is no more than a conjecture of ideas brought together for a plausible outcome to a given one situation. When you can't answer that question, then you have to do it on faith. When you answer that question to make a theory, then it should lead to more questions. And the question is now coming to where we may not have been the first generations of human upon this earth. that there may have been other humans upon this earth, other generations upon this earth that did more miraculous things than we did. Even though we don't see it, and we calculate all these other things that's from the past, doesn't mean that that's absolute. That just means that's what we know. As you journey to the stars, people, and you journey through life, know this. There's always going to be another question. That's my signal. I'm getting tired. But I want you to know this. As you sit down in the pews and the benches and kneel and you pray to your God and you worship, ask yourself all the other questions that nobody else will ask and see if you can answer just one of them. Journey to the stars and enjoy your time, for this is the truth. Thank you for listening to me. This is David. Y'all have a good day.